I got it. Hi, this is you. So far, so good. Yeah. How you doing? Is this the first time you guys met? Oh, wow. Yeah, no. Just saying that.
Yeah, you like really. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2. We're gonna get started soon. It's great to see so many villagers.
I get a phone call.
Oh yeah, switch. Please.
Where's my?
Do you want to pull it out real quick and then pop it back
Oh
in?
no, it's here. That's fine.
That's handy.
It didn't really work the other day though.
Well, hopefully
Yesterday.
it all goes good. That is much better.
We worked diligently last night till 1 o'clock in the morning to be able to provide these wonderful, beautiful signage up here. Please, if you'd like to have a sign and hold up a sign, we appreciate it. We're just waiting for one more of our speakers to arrive and then we'll get started.
No, I didn't.
This is to women. This is to women right here. This next one is to those who could give birth right here. Okay. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Hey, Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Ay, abusa. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Hola, pasa. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama. Atinama. Te quiero Atinama.
Yellow Springs. Are we here to make noise today? Are we here to be heard? Are we here to speak our truth? Yes. Let's get the little homework out of the way first. We want to thank Bob Baldwin for the use of this property.
Thank you.
We had an anonymous donor that we know she really helped us out. We thank her. She knows who she is. Thank you. The church shop, one of the sponsors. The rally organizers put in a little bit of my cash. Juliet's Trunk, also a sponsor. Yellow Springs Hardware, a sponsor. Vila from the hardware store, put in a little extra. Don Hollister, thank you so much. Yellow Springs Unitarian Universalist Church for the sound system that you can hear me, please. Thank you to all of those people. We appreciate it greatly. Can everybody hear me? Yeah. We have extra signs. If there's a sign you see you want to hold up, come grab it. Any of them are available. We spent hours making them. Go ahead and use them. This was written by somebody I don't know, Sane Berger, S-A-N-N-E, Berger. But it seemed fitting to chair today. Our poet canceled last minute, so I'm here instead. And by the way, my name is Renee. This is Kellyanne. We have Valerie. We put this together because women's rights are women's rights. We are being attacked, and we're going to attack back. All right? Woo! Here we go. I can't stay, Mother. I love you, but I wasn't born to please you. I wasn't born to make you happy or to do your life mean. I wasn't born to rot under your wings like an unhatched egg. I can't stay, teacher. I wasn't born to be put into your boxes, to think along your lines, or to memorize your facts. I want to think independently. I can't stay, my love. I wasn't born to satisfy your needs, to take care of you, or to hide in your arms. I wasn't born to make myself smaller or to be taken for granted. I can't stay, boss. I wasn't born to make money for others. I wasn't born to follow orders or repeat the same day over and over again. I wasn't born for boredom. I can't stay, master. I wasn't born to follow your idea of what truth is or to live according to your dogmas. I was born to find my own truth and make my own rules.
That's right.
I was born to meet life full on, to get lost on Indian trains, to be seduced by dangerous men, to meet difficult faces, places, and cultures, to be out in the jungle all night, to run with wolves, to be swept off my feet, to be taken by storm, to be heartbroken, devastated, stunned, shocked, lost, thrown into the deep. I was born to get my hands dirty, to get sand in my mouth, mud on my clothes, thorns under my feet. I was born to jump into the abyss. I was born to meet aliens, to do rituals, to be cracked open in ceremony, to go beyond time and space, to welcome magic, to totally lose myself. I was born to feel everything, to taste everything, the bitter taste of sorrow, the foul taste of deceit, the sweet taste of love. I was born to learn to handle change gracefully. I was born to know the truth, to learn how to fly. I was born to learn how to speak the language of love, how to unchain my heart, how to shed everything, how to let go of expectations. I was born to learn how it feels to lose everything except what matters. I was born to live a life that would strip away everything that wasn't real, that wasn't true, that wasn't me. I am a phoenix. I was born to spread my wings and fly towards the sun. I was born, burn up, and turn to ashes, to fall down to earth and rise up again. When I am old, I will be proud of my scars, my wrinkles, my memories, my stories, my wisdom, my freedom. I was born to be free, and therefore, I can't stay. You cannot stay this way. Governor Abbott has some news for him. He will go down and we will rise like the phoenix. He will fall, they will fall. There are government people, politicians across this country trying to take our damn rights away. And we're not going to stand for it. And that's why we're here today, to listen to some lovely speakers. We have a nice lineup. We had some cancellations, so everybody on the flyer we might not see today. That's the way things happen. The show must go on. We are here. We want to hear some noise. We want to see the signs. There's a rally afterwards, a march in Dayton. There's some carpooling going on. We'll all get in on that later on in the program. But right now, I want to introduce the MC for the event, Jillian Tracy.
We quickly wanted, looks to be like everybody's already doing this, and we really appreciate it, but we really quickly wanted to say face masks. We would highly recommend them, and it is mandated here in our village. There's extra up here if you come up to me, but it looks like everybody's already taking care of that. We appreciate it. Thank you to Renee for bringing us in so well. We are so super excited to be here today. This literally just came out of Renee's head one day. She was like, we have to do something. October 2nd's coming up. And she made one phone call to me and sucked me into the vortex that we are here today. But we're so absolutely grateful. We knew that it was only our mission to give the opportunity for you come and to listen, and for those that wanted to speak, to speak. Now, I want to just be really transparent how that rolled out. I felt like it was extremely important for us to give our new candidates a voice. They need to be heard as much as possible until it's time for our election, because how else will we know how we are to vote? So I reached out to all of the candidates, those that were able to are present today. Now, I also felt like we really needed to hear from all of our leaders within our community. This is a time more than any other time that we have to know how our leaders stand on what we feel is important. So I also reached out to all the council members as well. I sent an email out and I invited them to provide us with a brief couple paragraphs on how they feel about the topic. That information is, of the ones that responded, that information is over here on the table. So please come and pick that up as well. Renee also provided some great resource lists that also is located at this table too. So if you have to leave early, we absolutely understand, but please come by and take an opportunity to pick up some of this resources. Those that would remove our freedoms have lied in wait, patiently waiting for our complacency. And sure enough, we gave it to them. They then pounced on the opportunity to swiftly enact legislation, stripping us of the right to make decisions about and control of our own bodies. We cannot afford to be complacent any longer. Together, we, men and women, need to actively work to regain and retain the rights our mothers, grandmothers fought so hard to obtain for us. We must ensure that not only the women of today, but our daughters of tomorrow will be afforded the basic human right of choosing what's best for one's self. Our bodies are right. Our bodies are right. Our bodies are right. I'm really excited today to be able to introduce our first speaker coming up. She's the co-owner of Yellow Springs Ink Art. I look so forward periodically through the week to look at her Facebook posts and see the crazy creative ink that walks out of her studio. She's a member of the Downtown Merchants, and she's one of our Village Council candidates. Please welcome Lindsay Burke.
Everyone hear me? No? Better? Oh, goodness. Thank you, everyone, for inviting. Thank you, Kellyanne, for inviting me, and thank you for all coming. Thank you for spending your Saturday doing something that's important to all of us. As Kellyanne mentioned, I am a council candidate. I'm also here as a merchant, as a business owner, as a woman, as a parent, as a worker, because I know that reproductive rights affect all of our community and they touch every aspect of our lives. So I want to make a statement in solidarity. Our bodies, our rights. Reproductive health is a human right. And I'm here to unequivocally support our right to choose when, how, and in what manner we choose to reproduce as women. Yellow Springs is a community that's always affirmed the value of all women. As such, I can't speak further without making a few acknowledgements that are close to my heart and important to our community. First, I want to acknowledge Black women. I say this with the acknowledgement that almost everything that we know about reproductive rights has been extracted at the expense of Black women's bodies. This can't stand. This is a shame to our society, and we have to do better. Second, I want to affirm and uplift Indigenous women. I want to mention missing and murdered Indigenous women. And I want to acknowledge the violence that Indigenous women experience at the hands of our country. Third, I want to uplift and mention trans women as women. I also want to acknowledge people that are affected by reproductive rights that do not identify as women. Finally, I want to uplift and mention incarcerated women and the conditions that they undergo in our country every single day, unheard and forgotten. All of these people are women, just like many of us gathered here. They should have access to reproductive rights, to reproductive health, and to wellness in their own bodily choice. We should be able to do this with freedom from violence and freedom from discrimination. We should all have access to health care. We should be able to do it in an equal fashion in a way that puts us all on a level playing field. We all know what's been going on in Texas. It's the hot button news of the day. Of course, we can't let this stand. But Ohio isn't free from those issues. We've been dealing with our own repressive legislature for years now.
That's right. Yes.
As with Texas, this is a fight that is not done. We have to continue, and we actually have to regain ground we just lost. Access to healthcare, to equal healthcare, means we have access to abortions, safe, clean, on-demand abortions. That is our choice, yes. We should have access to contraception of our choice. We should have access to equal sex education.
Yeah.
And we should have gender-based workplace equality.
Yeah.
All of these are women's health issues. Women's health is women's rights. They're inextricably connected. And women's rights are human rights. And if we say that we're a community that advocates for human rights, we have to advocate for women's reproductive rights. This goes beyond, like I said, this goes beyond our hot button issues. This goes beyond whenever there's a march. This goes beyond whenever you see something on your Facebook. This is an everyday struggle, and it will be until we're equal. Until we're equal. This touches our whole community, and I want to say a big thank you to Yellow Springs, that has always been a community that has affirmed the rights of women. Personally, on a personal note, I want to thank the women that I have learned from and that I have grown from in this community. I want to send a shout out to the Feminist Health Fund here in Yellow Springs. Are directly concerned with women's health and women's reproductive rights. And I want to thank everyone who's ever been a donor, a board member, a volunteer, or a participant. I want to thank the whole community for being here today and for always affirming women's rights. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lindsay. One of the things I want to point out is sometimes it's not as important as what they say as their silence that is deafening us. Our next speaker is probably the coolest cat in Yellow Springs. He's a homegrown into a successful hip hop artist and personal trainer. Not only will he whip you into shape, but he'll do it to music as well. He's also, again, one of our village candidates. Please welcome Issa Walker.
Hey everybody, how you doing? All right. Make some noise if you're feeling good out there today. Make some noise, make some noise. All right. Well, I'm happy to be here on this wonderful occasion. And for those who don't know me, my name is Issa Walker, and I'm very happy to participate in the gathering in full support of women's rights. Yes. I must say, as a man, I honestly felt like it was not my place, nor was I qualified to decide on matters so personal and sacred as women's reproductive rights. This discussion is yours to have and mine to listen to. What I am proud of is that this village provides a safe space to have your voices heard, and this is what I wish to protect and preserve. This is what makes our community unique, and we can set the example for the world as long as we protect and encourage our dear sisters to have open and honest dialogue, assuring them that their voices matter and that they are protected.
That's it.
Well, I support and also encourage our men to get educated on comprehensive sexuality and to speak out against violence against women. As we all know, there are no men without women. I think of my very own mother, my very own sister, when this topic arises. So I hope this hits home to not only women, but men alike. Again, this village should always be a place where women feel free, protected, and valued. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce our brilliant and wonderful sister, Felicia Chappelle.
Good morning, Yellow Springs. Can you hear me? I cannot hear you. Good morning, Yellow Springs. I'm better. I know you do. Nothing happens in a vacuum. There are always invisible structures in place. Support systems seen and those unseen. Like the magnificence that separates the firm, solid earth we stand on from this beautiful, amazing, sunny sky that does not collapse or crumble on top of our heads. How is this so? There are people, things, forces, tangible and intangible, that come together to make mornings like this possible, gatherings like this possible. So thank you. Each and every one of you. Thank you for being here today. Sponsors came through. We have to acknowledge that sponsors came through, not to make this day grand, but to make things doable. Okay? So Julietta's truck came through, and you know where it is. It's down there over by the post office. She's an amazing boutique keeper, and she came through. Just knock on the window because the door is locked, and she's there. Yellow Springs Hardware, also owned by a woman. Amazing to have a hometown hardware. Frequent them and know that they too support you. John Hollister came through and supported. Okay. Bob Baldwin supports you. Know your friends and your enemies and your allies. Know yourself. Thanks to Lacey Fox at YSCA and B. Stokely. We are seen because of them. They're running cameras and making things happen, and we thank them. They came through. They support us. Thanks to Yellow Springs, the crowd. Thanks to you people, because you here today, this morning, you make things grand. And it's good to see you all here today. Can't do anything without thanking Renee Young, Kellyanne Tracy, Valerie Koschlaff, and all they did for bringing me to the stage today. Thank you, Village. Thank you, Mayor Pam. Thank you, the Women's Rights Coordinating Committee, and this exceptional event. Women's Reproductive Rights Rally 2021. Villagers, visitors, how does everybody feel? Yes, Women's Reproductive Rights Rally. Let's march today. Let's rally. Let's protest, legislate. Let's be rowdy, constituents. Vote, lead by example. Hell, let's run for office. Make some noise for freedom. Make some noise for justice and equity. And let's pursue some happiness. I'd like to let everyone know that at the conclusion of the march, there will be what's known as a call to action. What are we doing? What can we do? And listen with action in mind. Can everybody still hear me okay? Calling on the ancestors who walked the roads and passed in freedom in Yellow Springs, all the deceased widows who were honored by Willie Gaunt, Mary Church Terrell, later of Washington, D.C., who left here and went on to be the first woman and Black to run in the Washington, D.C. School Board District. She ran, she won, she worked, she fought, she stood here as well. Coretta Scott King and her sister Edith Scott Bagley. We have to let those ancestors know that we are awake, we are alive, and we are gathered for change. So thank you, villagers, each and every one of you, for being persistent, tenacious, generous, cantankerous neighbors. Even when we are in polarity, my village, we are dedicated inviters toward tolerance, toward intolerance, peace, equity, and justice. Do you know what it means to be dedicated to intolerance? We'll talk about that more later. Women's Rights Rally 2021. Look what we made happen. We made plans, secured details, reached out to friends, got out of bed in the morning, and here we are. What else can women do? What exactly are we capable of making happen? Today we gather to acknowledge that women work wonders. With our brilliant minds, our expansive intellect, our phenomenal bodies, our resounding spirits, our training, our skill sets, our sophisticated strategies, and our life experiences. Women work wonders. And we reserve the right to beautify, and we reserve the right to make plain. We reserve the right to ornament or to conceal. We reserve the right to express intelligence assertively. We reserve the right to be complicated. We reserve the right to make you uncomfortable. And we reserve the right to say no. Intolerant, to be direct. We reserve the right to be direct. We reserve the right to be articulate. We reserve the right to voice our comprehension out loud. We reserve the right to be angry. We reserve the right to conduct ourselves without concern for any perceived or actual male inadequacy. We reserve the right to choose. We reserve the right to share. We deserve the right to desire. We deserve the right to decide and to deny. We reserve the right to hold boundaries. We did I say we reserve the right to say no? We reserve the right to say no. Our demands. We demand for crimes against us to be prosecutable and punishable. That includes crimes against our loved ones, our partners, colleagues, families, friends, allies, and adversaries, because that's how capable we are as leaders. Women work wonders. Give us the space to discover ourselves and to walk into our power. That is what is happening, whether you are ready or you are not ready. Manhood, examine the regiment required to discover us. Historically, manhood has discovered no lands, no continents, no planets, and galaxies. Discover what is right beside you, the indisputable source of all human life. Because in this century, facing the challenges of these times, we here now will emerge the sole greatest asset to the psychological, emotional, and physical sustainability and viability of humankind and overall quality of life. And women, time to ready ourselves. Have we examined our relationship to leadership? Have we examined our relationships to vulnerability? Have we examined our relationship to companionship? Have we examined our relationships with our fathers, brothers, sons, uncles, lovers, friends, superiors, and subordinates? Have we examined our relationship to the divine masculine inside of ourselves? Have we examined our relationship to power? Not the age-old force of oppression, but the power of divine feminine in all of us, healed, healing, whole, and in charge. Do we know our enemies? Ladies and gentlemen, we have some work to do in our march from here to gender equality, gender equity. In 2017, a report was released stating that all of the deeded land in the world, less than 20% of that land had a woman listed on the deed as landowner. That means of all the land owned, only 20% is owned by a woman. So for those of you who are deed holders and are confused about privilege, hear that now. In America, let's not forget, this land is your land, this land is our land. Currently, we are preparing for women's rights marches and rallies to take place in major cities nationally. What are the changes we want to see? Let's spell them out. Of course, we want equal pay. We want equal pay. And we want harassment-free environment. We want physical safety in public spaces. We want physical safety in private spaces. We want equitable distribution of labor. We want dignity and compensation assigned to our work. We want accountability and punitive actions for crimes involving our bodies. It is not the same thing to be pulled off the street and to feel silenced. Those are not the same thing. It is not the same thing to be manipulated, coerced, or exploited. Those are all different things. They are not the same thing, and they are all wrong. Be clear about that. They are all wrong. Most importantly, for demands, right now, we want the right to choose, which has been erroneously attacked now in the state of Texas. We support womanhood regardless of race, regardless of age, regardless of size, regardless of gender, regardless of privilege, regardless of class or socio-political demographic. It is a mindset, and we support it in all of us, in ourselves, and in our communities, in our country, and in the changes that we want to see. Clearly, in the second decade of this new century, change is being ushered in to speak to the collective conscience of the people. No one has been untouched by the obstacles that surfaced during the pandemic. For the first time ever, everyone alive is responding to a collective crisis. Every region has been affected, though in many, many different ways. No person has been untested by these circumstances, well outside of our individual and collective control. Globally, for the first time in history, every family alive is being challenged by the same and unprecedented pandemic circumstances, human and otherwise. Every family alive. Citizens, residents, neighbors, friends, or foe, we are going through some changes. There's no change without existence, and there is no existence without womanhood. Without the power of a woman, nothing changes. The first and most definitive change is the transition from non-existence into existence. Impossible without the tremendous portal of entry that is the female body. Whether I choose to open this portal or not. That is how it happens. That is the only way it happens. We cannot be held hostage to the diminutive. We are how we get here. The only means for existence happens in our bodies if, and clearly hear me say if, and only if that is what we choose and decide to do, and we can also choose not to do. Very exact in knowing this is both the only option and also a choice. Our choice. We cannot be held hostage in the diminutive. Life exists through womanhood and womanhood alone. Whatever I decide about this irrefutable, quantified fact of life, whether I choose to exercise this superpower or not, this power cannot and does not exist anywhere else. It does not exist elsewhere. No one can confine me to the falsehood of imagined inferiority. No. Completely intolerant of that illusion. But manufactured belief systems can be created that says my body belongs to legislative bondage. I'm a Black woman. My historical body has always belonged to legislative bondage. No. A manufactured belief system can be created to undermine my self-assuredness. I am older and worthless. Ageism. No. I am larger and worthless. Sizeism. No. I am female and worthless. Sexism. No. A manufactured belief system can be enlisted to eroticize me when I want privacy, or shame me when I want sexual expression. A manufactured belief system can be enlisted to commodify and market my appeal. A manufactured belief system can be enlisted to confuse me about the potent mystique of my natural beauty, my oversized beauty, my undersized beauty, my unpainted beauty, my makeup concealed beauty. No, no, no. Denouncing and resisting now anything subscribing to the belief that womanhood, the only means for existence on earth, is less than anything. Who's convinced us? Everything I am is less. The breath to speak those lies exists because I am. We cannot be held hostage to the divinity. Womanhood is life, whether we bring life or not. We do not have to do this to be powerful, but young manhood cannot do this at all. You cannot, and there is your clear evidence. So let's get started. Remember, we won't always get this right. We won't always get this right. Self-compassion, a resounding yes. We, after all, are only human. Honesty, contemplation, authenticity, yes, yes, yes. Insecurity and destructive and dividing weaponry leveraged against us all, no. Insecurity, the destructive and dividing weapon leveraged against us all, no, no, no. Manhood, I invite you to exert your prowess by hearing this that has been said now. See us, hear us, support us, respect us, but move out the way. Change has been ushered in. Ladies, release internalized sexism. One and all, be courageous. One and all, examine yourselves with compassion but rigorous scrutiny. Ladies, our lives are worth more. Live your actual worth and destroy the myths of diminishment aggressively and from the inside out. Rise up to the cacophony, the orchestral compositions of women in charge. Gentlemen, stand strong or stand aside. Do not diminish us. Do not deify us. Acknowledge us. Recognize. Join hands side by side. Wrap your minds around it.
I'm going to let you folks know on a secret. At one point, we decided the rally wasn't going to go forward. We weren't getting a lot of support for it. We decided we were going to call it quits. And Valerie convinced us to go on a Zoom and listen to this speech. And after that, we were like, this must be heard. Absolutely. We're so grateful that Felicia agreed to be here with us today. We knew that she would move you as she has moved us. She made us get up off the couch and get this thing together, no matter who was supportive of us or not. We hope next that she will have moved you to take action. Our next speaker is going to tell you exactly how you can do that. Valerie Koschlaff is a newcomer to Yellow Springs. She's busy making her mark and contributing to the community. You'll probably see her today, and it's very obvious you'll see her tomorrow. Please welcome Valerie.
Thank you, Kelly Ann. Thank you, Renee, for organizing this. Thank you, the inventors of alcohol. For this reason and for later when we soothe our souls with a drink for some of us. Okay, so my name is Valerie Koschlaff, and I have been in Yellow Springs permanently only 1 year. My mother has lived here 24 years, so I am familiar with a lot of people, and I chose to stay when I came a year ago because I love this community. I love the activism. I am so impressed at how in tune people are with the political climate in our country and also around the world. Now, why is this event important to me? I was raised in Africa, and right there, I saw firsthand what it looks like when women don't have access to birth control, to family planning, to a culture that promotes your life and your goals and a healthy life where women can actually have a complex life. One that I saw was one where women were just endlessly having babies, and that was their role and lost permanently. So to this end, I'm very happy to be here. And I'm very happy to be able to guide you in how we act and what we do after you've heard these amazing speakers get your blood boiling, I hope, and motivate you. There are real simple steps, even though this is a truly complex problem. I want to take a minute to invite you all to answer the question, what are the problems? What is really at stake right now? I have a list of 6 or 7. Let's see. Anyone speak out, yell out your thoughts. What is the issue around these abortion bans? What does it mean for our women's lives? What does it mean for our societies? Yes, and Back to the Future is one of my favorite movies. However, we need to get to the future right now because I did not want to spend my Saturday morning doing this. And I'm pretty sure all of you also could think of a few other things that are more fun than us joining together to have to talk about this issue again. Women should have free choice of what happens to their bodies, and in particular around abortion, and that is what's at stake. But it's even more than that. So let's keep thinking. I'll give you a hint to start the list off, but I'd really love you to push yourselves to explore all the levels that the current Texas ban on abortion is causing for people. And then SB 123, the Ohio Senate Bill 123, that has actually come to the table and is being heard in our Ohio Senate Health Committee. They're actually honoring hearing this. Over 100 protesters showed up at the State House this week because we can't have this. We cannot tolerate it. So besides just the idea, the basic idea of women's rights being taken away, what are some of the other parties or ideals, concepts that you've heard about? What are the issues? This is a really complex issue, and I don't want to frighten you with that because I have an awesome handout with some simple solutions for you all to act on. Yes.
Illegal and dangerous back alley abortion.
That's
And
right.
attempts at abortion that result in emergency rooms.
Yes.
flooded with blood.
Yes. So
I know about this. I was born in 1943. I protested in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, and the 90s, and I'm protesting until I die. Yeah.
all right, rock and roll. Well said. Thank you so much. The truth is that when women want to have an abortion, they should be allowed to. I often tell men who don't understand this position, as an evolutionary biologist, I see the world through the lens of biology. I also used to study chimpanzees, and I actually studied chimpanzee sex. So looking at their life and living in the forest with them, they do not have choice. The male, the alpha male, is the one who chooses. They don't have anything else going on, any other options. So I find it humorous to give you that analogy. But on the serious note, I've tried to explain, and I've thought for decades that I should possibly make a bumper sticker that says, when a woman's body isn't ready to have a baby, she has a miscarriage. When a woman's mind isn't ready, her life isn't ready to have a baby, she chooses to have an abortion. There's a real parallel here. We are the lucky animals on this planet that we can actually
have these choices to actually use birth control, to think about family planning. Keep this in mind when you hear anyone talking negatively about abortion. This is a normal biological event that happens in a woman's body. I have a good sense that 50% or more of the women present today have had a miscarriage. This is what the data says. So this is a super common and important concept to keep in mind. Getting back to the list of where the problems lie. I was thinking of religious interference with our rights. Our country is founded on the concept that we have separation of church and state. And actually, the last part I just said is the hint for the next level of the problem. But religious interference, we have the choice to choose what religion we want or to say we have no religion. So it isn't okay for those who have conviction, which I appreciate conviction in all of us, but for them to be interfering in our daily lives. It is not okay to have them interfering in our daily lives. So who remembers what was the last word that I said in that previous sentence? Yeah. So what's going on there? Government interference in our healthcare. We don't want that either, do we? Pretty sure we have the right. Yes, Laura. We have the right to not have the government interfere in our healthcare. Just also generally government interference with our rights, period, that have already been laid out, that are the foundation of this country. Who we are, what we understand, written in the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We have a problem. So lastly, unless someone else has a thought they want to add, the really biggest problem I understand right now is that the Supreme Court has not acted on Texas abortion ban and deputizing. Do you realize this? Texas has deputized ordinary citizens to sue anyone who has assisted on any level, assisted in a woman having an abortion. That's not just the doctor. That's even the manufacturer of the equipment that's used. That's the taxi driver. What? This is absurd. I hope you're angry. If you didn't know that, I hope you're angry now. The Supreme Court is not doing what it needs to be doing. And the only way I know how to resolve this is on the handout that I made for you, which is calling all your representatives, getting involved in politics, being informed, read the newspaper, less social media entertainment, more serious media coming in, so that you know what is going on, who is running on what platform, and which groups, who often have very misleading names, which groups actually stand for what. If we all don't work together on this, if we all allow those who have, we call them special interests, but even private interests, if we allow them to continue pursuing their agendas, we will lose our rights. Being involved in politics is one of the most wonderful things you can do as an American. Africans are oppressed. I even was an election poll monitor in Armenia. We weren't allowed to interfere. We were watching the military men escort every single woman into their private voting booth. That does not happen in this country because of people who organize, who gather, who fight to protect our rights to vote, to be active, to politically take a stance, to run for office. This is crucial. All of you, young men, young women, middle-aged, older, you are all empowered right now. I knight you, empowered. Think about, learn how to run for office. That means get involved in your local liberal/progressive, democratic, any level, but not conservative, please, political parties. Even being a part of an environmental party, a club, is going to do good for the planet. People who care about the environment care about human rights. There's a clear correlation, and it's so clear with women's rights. These things are crucial. I want you all to take this seriously and do something about it. There are groups who will train you. There are groups who will help teach you. I will happily talk to you about this. It's important that we all, as women especially, believe that we can run. And I'm looking at you, sister, right now. Activist. Yes. So take all of this to heart. You are here because you care. You're here because you're aware. We can do this together. And yes, I will show up again, even though Saturday morning, I really like being at the farmer's market and socializing or playing badminton in my backyard, but I will come back. We will come back and do this until we don't need to anymore. So any other thoughts of how you feel your life has been interfered with by any reproductive rights, oppression, the fear of your inability to get a legal abortion in Ohio or any other state you're in? You might move next year. There are 13 states who currently seem to be seceding from the nation, like the original 13 colonies. What is going on? 13 states have trigger bills, abortion ban bills, trigger is what they're called in quotes, ready to have them enacted, enforced as soon as the Supreme Court overturns Roe versus Wade. The fact that the Supreme Court has not acted on the Texas law frightens me, and it should frighten you. We have work to do. And I'm really happy to have you all join us in this cause. Let's do the work. And remember what they were chanting, the pro-choice activists at the State House this week. O-H-I-O. Abortion ban has got to go. O-H-I-O. Abortion ban has got to go. O-H-I-O. Abortion ban has got to go. Woo! Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie. So now, not only do we put a little bee in your bonnet, but hopefully we put a little step in your feet. And just know that some of us don't have the ability to come out to the rally. Some of us here in Yellow Springs don't have the ability to leave our homes, but that does not keep us from being activists. With the internet these days and with the groups that Facebook groups are on, reach out. I think that complacency is truly our worst evil here. You know, we no longer can be complacent. We all must take action. Not only do we need to take action, we need to ask those around us to take action. So often, people don't move because nobody asked. Today, we're asking. We're asking you, and we're asking you to ask. Once again, we'd like to thank all of our speakers. I'm going to have Renee come back up. She's going to do a little closing segment for us.
Are you excited? Are you afraid? Are you ready to fight for your rights? Us men and women need to be involved in fighting for women's rights because it's a human right. We're all humans. We all deserve the same freaking rights. I ran across this on Facebook, sorry, but I just thought I'd share it real quick. It's a shirt, and it says, I went to Planned Parenthood, and all I got was a breast exam, a pap smear, a physical exam, STD testing and treatment. I can't even read my own thing. Planned Parenthood is for a lot of things, not just abortion. We're not here for pro-abortion. We're here for pro-choice. Whether you want an abortion or not is not the issue. Whether you support somebody else wanting an abortion is not the issue. The issue is giving people the choice. We all deserve to have our own truth spoken. With that, I want to offer this mic to any one of you right now. Any one of you that's brave enough, that has the courage enough, come up here, speak your mind. Take a minute, take 2 minutes. Come forward if you want. Here's your chance to stand in your power, to tell your truth, to share your views. We would love to have at least one. This would be awesome. Thank you, Laura. Laura Curtis, member of the community and the council.
I just want to say a word about the Supreme Court. I'm a lawyer, and I'm sorry on behalf of lawyers who protect human rights and civil rights. I'm sorry. I was reading the synopsis of the court's very short one-paragraph opinion where they decided not to take up this Texas abortion ban. And add to your list of things you need to do is fight gerrymandering and fight voting suppression. So get out there and vote. Vote early, vote. They are trying to suppress your right to vote. Do everything you can to make sure you're registered, your friends are registered, you get everybody out there to vote and know your candidates and know where they stand. So it is a huge problem. I know you all know that. Thank you for working hard on this issue. Thank you.
We are not overreacting. Jesus isn't a dick, so keep him out of my vagina. Anyone else have something to say? Anyone? Man, woman? Susie. This is Susie, our friend. She helped make a lot of the signs. She's been a great support to us.
We are not overreacting, and here's why. Right now, with these 6-week abortion bans, with no exceptions for rape or incest or the life of the mother, if a woman is raped and becomes impregnated, she will likely not even know she's pregnant until after the 6 weeks are over. And so not only has her bodily autonomy been taken away in the time that she was raped, but she could possibly have the rest of her life totally altered by being forced to raise a child that she is unwilling and not ready to raise. And that is not right. So that's why I'm here, because this is not just about, conservatives keep saying that, we just want women to be able to just get pregnant and have abortions willy-nilly. No, this is like just the basic ability to, the bare minimum of being able to choose to be a parent or not, even if you do everything quote unquote right, even that is being taken away, and that is just too much. And yeah, that's why I'm riled up.
Hi, everyone. My name is Rebecca Potter. I'm a professor at the University of Dayton, which is
Can you see? Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca Potter. I'm a professor at the University of Dayton, a Catholic university. I was raised Catholic and I am pro-choice. I want to just talk about this journey I've been on regarding this issue, seeing that hanger right there. When I was in college, I escorted a number of women to abortion clinics in Northern California. One of those clinics was vandalized and destroyed by a future Attorney General of the state of California. Also in California, when I worked for the Abortion Rights Action League, knocking on doors, I remember meeting a doctor in his 70s who signed up immediately and told me about how the obstetrics wards in hospitals in the Bay Area were full, a whole floor dedicated to women who had attempted to abort themselves or had gone to the famous back alley abortionist. Most of those women didn't die, but they were sterile and they could not have a child after that. Later, when I was in Boston, I was also defending clinics and I saw another man in the 70s take a cane and hit a woman who was defending a clinic across her face and break her jaw, and saw the Boston police come and blame her for demonstrating and provoking an old man. This is what we are facing. Go onto the web, try to find mifepristone, the drug that can enable a medical abortion. You will think you are in Nazi Germany when you try to find this information. Woman on Web is the source that many young women are going to in Texas, but honestly throughout the United States, because they cannot get that treatment here. Woman on Web is based in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. And pro-life advocates are trying very hard to shut it down. Now, as a Catholic, I want to give you a short theology lesson, because we know that much of this debate is based on a misinterpretation of theology, a radical interpretation that actually has no basis in my mind in biblical teaching. Let's go to the Virgin Mary. And when the angel Gabriel comes down and says to her, "You are with God's child." In the original, it doesn't say "you will be," it says "you are." Now we know her answer from Margaret Atwood, part of it, The Handmaid's Tale, because she says, "So be it, I am the handmaid of the Lord." Now, that phrase, the handmaid, has been famously taken by a brilliant writer to show us what could be our dystopian future. But I want to focus on the first part, "so be it." Mary doesn't get many lines in the Bible. To be given this one shows a lot, because it shows it was her choice. She said yes to the angel Gabriel. She said yes to God. She could have said no. And we know that in the Bible, often part of faith is based on choice, from the first story to the last. So let's tell that to the Supreme Court. Thank you.
Talking, people are speaking. You know that when I was 18 years old, one of my best friends got pregnant right out of high school by a boy that was soon to be her stepbrother. She was really taken back by that. She did not tell him that she was pregnant. She told me. And I supported her in her choice for an abortion. And you know what she did a few weeks after her abortion? She met a man and she fell in love. They moved in together. They had a baby. They had 2 more babies. Now they've got 20 children and a bunch of grandchildren, and they're still married and they're still happy. He does not know if she ever got that abortion. But she did it so that they could have that family and those grandkids and that lake house and that life that they want and they deserve. She didn't want to have her stepbrother's baby, just like you don't want to have a rapist baby. I was molested at a very young age by a family member. If I had gotten pregnant, I don't know what I would have done. I can't say that now, but I imagine I would never have wanted that baby. There are so many women in these situations that you don't know about. It could be your sister, it could have been your mother, your grandmother. You don't know. Not a lot of women will talk. They're ashamed. We got to bring that out into the light, people. Why are you ashamed? There's nothing wrong with getting pregnant. There's nothing wrong with determining whether you want to keep that pregnancy going or not. You don't abort at 8 months. No, that's not what we're talking. We're not talking about using it as birth control. That's not what this is about. This is about human rights. Anyone else have a story to tell? You're a prominent member of the community. Would you like to speak, sir? Yeah, you. No, I'm just trying to. Ryan Howe, come speak to us.
Great. Hold on.
Well, thanks for calling me up. I want to say, first of all, that I spoke at the last council meeting about one of the most disgusting things that some of you know about, which is Lebanon, Ohio, designating itself as a sanctuary city for the unborn. And I will say that this really highlights the whole point about getting out there and being involved, because right after that council, one member resigned immediately. The rest of that council voted unanimously in support of that, not thinking about the lives of those born afterwards, but focusing on just not allowing these women's choices to happen in their municipality. There are 2 organizations that are supporting the 19 candidates that are running for council to unseat those elected officials, and they should be out. One is called the Lebanon Handmaids. The other is called Interact Lebanon. And I think seeing something like this happen at the local level is really something that we need to pay attention to. I mean, we know our state elected officials suck, especially in Ohio. But when we look at local electeds making decisions like this and taking away women's choice, that just cannot happen. And so I, for one, am supporting those groups and trying to do anything that I can to change what's going on in that community. And so seriously, we've all got to be wary. And yeah, that's the thing I want to elevate. Thanks for letting me speak.
Everyone, I wanted to, I'm Betsy Fox. I wanted to promote the Feminist Health Fund. It's a all-women nonprofit organization, and we've been around for about 40 years. So I just recently joined the board. But what we do is we try to reach women that might not necessarily have the resources at the time, so they might be in some sort of financial hardship. And we want to help them get access to the health-related needs that they have at that time. And so this isn't just abortion. This is all kinds of things. We help people get wheelchairs or their medication or just transportation to go to doctor's appointments. And we help them find these resources that they might need. So we have some flyers up here on the table. And I wanted to promote us because I really want to get our name out, not just for raising money, but also if you know women that are in need. This is anyone that identifies as a woman. Let them know about the Feminist Health Fund, and they can go online and apply or just reach out to us, give us a phone call. we can help them. So please keep the Feminist Health Fund in mind and grab a flyer.
Yep. Okay, so very quickly, I just want to make this really clear. I'm going to start handing out, I'm going to walk around and hand out the call to action sheet that I put together. If you have never called a representative before, please do not be afraid of that. Be afraid of a ban on abortion. Call them. It is so easy. It is so simple. I put a few sentences. The only thing you need to say when you call them is pretty much written on this page. And for any issue, SB 123, which is the Ohio issue right now, any that we're talking about, but any issue that ever comes up, call your representative. So I put the names and phone numbers of all the representatives for anyone who lives right here in the zip code. The point is, nobody's going to grill you. Nobody's going to ask you why you're doing this or your political anything or your sex habits or anything. They just want to take the information down and know that you are a constituent. You are a person in their district, and they exist in that political position because of you, because of us. They work for us. They must hear you. As in, that is their job, is to hear that you want to make sure they do everything in their power to shut down SB 123 and anything else that comes up similar. It's super duper duper easy. I dare you to try something new. So please take a paper as I come around, and thank you all.
Anyone else have a story, any words, any truth? Come forward now before we close this program. Anyone is welcome. Men and women.
All right. I'm not going to say anything new that most of you don't know, but it still needs to be heard. If I wanted to get a vasectomy, nobody argues, nobody complains. Every woman that I know that has wanted to get their tubes tied has been told no or been argued with. If I die, it is illegal to take any of my body parts, even if someone else is dying, unless I give my consent. You can't save another life if I'm dead. But we are allowed to tell you what to do with your body. This is way more than just about abortion. It's about control. The level of fairness is just unreasonable. What are the jobs that don't get paid well? Social services, teachers. What are the jobs that actually make our lives better? Those jobs. Those are the ones we don't pay for. I do IT. It's junk. It doesn't matter at all. I get paid triple what my wife does as a teacher. It's nonsense. My insurance covers pretty much whatever I want. The insurance doesn't cover basic childcare needs. My leave doesn't cover family leave. The things that I have that I take for granted, you don't have. That's beyond unfair. It's not just about abortion. It's about killing half of our population, and it's gotta stop.
I just want to give a quick shout out to Geoffrey, our drummer over here. Providing the background that we all need. Yes, he's been a very pleasant surprise for me. I'm so happy that he's been here. Added such a spark, you know. I was really hoping for this big, huge crowd and everybody with signs and everybody going crazy. And then I remembered, oh yeah, that's gonna, they're saving that up for the march in Dayton. Who's planning on going to a march today? There are people here that are driving. If you want a carpool, everybody can mingle around up here and sort of get together. We have a march that starts in an hour. Anybody else have a 1 word, 2 words, anything to say? Okay. I want to thank all of the speakers. You guys did a fine job. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for supporting. We appreciate every single one of you being here today, more than I could ever express. This is my passion now, women's rights. Honestly, I've never put a rally together. I've never been called to do such a thing. I've never been called to do anything political like this. And yet, when I saw what happened down in Texas, I got pissed. I got angry. And that's what I'm hoping, that everybody has enough fire under them. As it's been spoken already today, tell your neighbor, talk to your friend, talk to your dad. We have to communicate. If we don't communicate, nobody will know what we're thinking, what we're feeling, and what our rights are. They're human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Women's rights are human rights. Thank you all for coming.